A very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to today's webinar presented by Siemens and hosted by Brewer. The beer market in India is expected to grow at a rate of 10.14% compound annual growth rate from 2021 to 2025. Uh, with the progressive government policies, the craft beer revolution across the country, and also a well traveled and educated consumer, the outlook for the industry is promising as well as bright. Now, some of the challenges that were outlined by the brewing community were flexibility, investment, availability, as well as adoption of technology. Now, technology has the ability to make processes efficient, flexible, transparent, and cost efficient. Now, on this note, I would like to introduce Siemens, who are presenting on the topic scalable solutions for microbreweries, large breweries with flexible financing solutions. Inviting Gautam, uh, country head factory automation for Siemens India, to start the session.
At Siemens, we have got a very long association with the beer industry because Siemens is a German organization, and in Germany, I think beer is a religion. I can make that statement with utmost certainty because whenever I go to Germany, one thing I definitely find that in each city and in each town of Germany, there is their own beer which people love, and they actually want to always drink the same beer all the time. I visited a town called Nuremberg. Some of you may be aware about this town. It has got historical significance also. When I was visiting that town, I was surprised to find, there is a network of tunnels under the town. We were told that this network of tunnel was used in 1940 for storage of the paintings to protect them from the destruction which would have been brought in because of the bombing which was undertaken by the Allies into the German towns. However, actually the intent of those tunnels was not for protection of the city, but they were actually those tunnels which were built in the ancient times for producing beer. And I had a round of those tunnels. It was I would say an experience in itself. The tunnel was approximately 10-meter deep into the ground. It has an extensive ventilation network. It has a temperature control on itself. And I was surprised and I was told how the material used to be brought in, including the snow. And the main part was, the beer manufacturing over there was an art. People were taking utmost efforts in producing beer in those, network of tunnels. And the quality of the beer was something which they, in the end, would always used to enjoy. It was consistent all the time. And that trend even continues today. And now, on top of this, network of tunnels, there is a micro brewery, an automated micro brewery run by Siemens System, without any intervention, producing the same consistent quality of the beer with 5 variations, the 5 variants which were there. So you can enjoy whatever beer you like in that, brewery. So that was an experience for me in itself, and this showed, that history of Germany and history of beer manufacturing in Germany is quite long, and Siemens has been associated with that. From Siemens' point of view, if I were to look at it in Germany, I think I will just give you a little bit more information about this thing. So in Germany, there are 1,300 breweries, and they produce approximately 97 hectoliter of beer in there. And the per capita consumption of beer over there is approximately 100 liters. And out of these 1,300 breweries which are there, majority of them are already automated with Siemens solution. And that is what we bring to India as well. In India also, the beer culture is growing. With millennial population which is there, the demand for the good beer is always increasing. The craft beer is always increasing. And that is what we wanted to also bring the experience from Germany to India, and want our Indian beer, local beer, to also grow in the same manner as probably it was in Germany. And how to do that? We have got extensive availability of our products, services, and solution which we can bring into you to also, make the beer producing industry self-reliant for sure, and consistent with the quality, I would say, efficiency, and I would say safety requirements which are required to produce the beer. Uh, just to give you a synopsis, in India, we are there for last 150 years. It is a very, very long association, and we are there in all the industries typically in India. We have a history of 150 years in India, and we have got approximately 22 factories in India. We cover the length and breadth of India with a big business of approximately more than 122 million INR. We cover whole of the India with approximately 17 offices which are looking into the sales and services of the industrial automation products. In addition to that, we have a network of more than 500 partners who are there to provide you the services in terms of bringing you the automation products, our drives products, our switchgear products. And this is something which we have been present in all the industries, be it the discrete industry, be it the process industry, or the manufacturing industry. Digitalization, what does it mean? Digitalization means that when you are about to set up a plant, you can basically plan in advance in the virtual environment, then execute the same plant in the real environment without elaborate cost of change and change management. This is what we bring onto the table now, and this is also some part which is very, very important, which will be a game changer for you, because this will bring in efficiency of setting up the plants. Most of the cost overruns which happen in India happen on account of the not a proper planning being there, and this takes care of the planning. Not only that, there is also a, I would say, horizontal digitalization which I'm showing over here, but there is also a vertical digitalization. That means you can also see the data which is getting generated out of this plant for the overall analysis and further insights into how your plant operation should be, so as to improve the efficiency and productivity of the plant.
Automation makes it possible to repeat the processes, to administrate the recipes, and to achieve a higher level of transparency and efficiency. And yes, we understood that the labor has an or the labor costs have a very different position in the Indian market, but we see that as a global tendency, even in the craft brewing, that sustainability in quality and precisely in taste is very relevant to become successful as a brewer. Because what would you like to achieve? You would like to have a constant customer base drinking your beer. Gottam said that at the beginning of the presentation. Here in Germany, we have many people who have their beer. They can choose, they choose sometimes, but they will always come back to the one they love. And this have to be produced in the same taste. This is what they like and what they like it for. And then automation helps you to achieve this sustainability in quality and precisely taste, and allows you on the other hand side to create easy recipes, benefit from the experiences in the past, and have those recipe control. And particularly craft brewing arena, we have a lot of them in a very efficient but repeatable way. I would like to take the opportunity today to introduce an automation system to you, which we have long in the market, BRAUMAT, as control system which suit the needs of all brewers from micro, from craft up to mega. BRAUMAT is the comprehensive process control system for brewery from Siemens, and you see it here. Flexible and profitable automation solutions are definitely our aspiration. And BRAUMAT, you will see that in a second, stands for a long history of innovative automation functionality dedicated to it. And what is nowadays rather important, sustainability. Sustainability in all means, but even in process control means clearly BRAUMAT. Looking back in history, Gottam already explained that We have a very long history with the brewing industry. We have historical records show that we always, at the end of the 19th century, has already equipped breweries with Siemens components. And very early, meanwhile, nearly 50 years ago, we started to automate breweries based on controllers, on thematic controllers. And in 1977, we launched the first PLC-based and recipe-controlled automation systems in the world for breweries, dedicated with the name of BRAUMAT. Very reliable, high quality, and an economic positioning that fits the needs of our customers are the key factors that we can stand those long-lasting and successful in the brewing market, so that we can have achieved today a network of malt houses, but mainly breweries around the entire globe, which operates BRAUMAT now. But to mention that, BRAUMAT is the card of an entire portfolio. For all of those who have not been in direct or in intensive contact with us, Siemens offers to you a complete spectrum of functionalities, components, and systems for all needs. We call it simply where you have a cable, and nowadays, and you might shift a bit, we may be, as Siemens, the one-stop supplier for IT and OT in the brewing world and beyond. Having said that, here's a short glance to the history of the system. As said, at May 31st, 1977, we have registered the trademark BRAUMAT, and since then, we drive the system successfully through the brewing market. You see, with a long chain of innovations, ending up in 2021 with the latest version 8.0 Service Pack 1, which I will now introduce to you in a very rough overview. Generally to say, BRAUMAT is a standard product of the Siemens organization because sustainable standardization demands standard products as fundamental. No doubt about the benefits any customer in the world from this is that it is standard wherever you look to. The entire product lifecycle process of the system is described in a product lifecycle management concept. And particularly in industries like F&B, like brewing, where we discuss the lifetimes of software in a brewery for 20 years plus. This is rather important, as this gives us the necessary background to supply service support as well as maintenance for those long time under competitive conditions. You got standard service, standard support, you got a standard documentation, order offering process, quality, system test procedures, training, etc., etc. Everything is standard, means we have a standard approach, as you might know from Siemens, fully supported anytime and anywhere. Having said that, take a look to the system itself. What could you expect? BRAUMAT, this is a system which is dedicated to control the processes of brewing and malting. It consists of an HMI, and human machine interface, means process screens, which are the virtual display of a real existing installation, giving you the possibility to monitor and control your entire installation intuitively. And this process screen, this visualization, is linked to a graphical recipe batch engine, which is the core of the system. Optionally, for bigger installation, we offer a transfer management module to organize material transfers, particularly in silo or tank farms. And we have a nice feature called process data recoding, which I will refer to in a second. But from an overall perspective, how could stay a system for that long time, for 44 years, in that fast-running software market, so successful in the market? The key figures or the key facts are fairly simple. The system is easy to operate, easy to administrate, and to engineer. One trained person can engineer and subsequently surely operate the entire system. And to get that know-how on board, we offer a training program where we can somebody bring on speed within 1 week. Rather important for the brewing industry, as in other industries in F&B as well, is that software modifications are possible while the processes are run with very short turnaround times. We have a huge installed base, mainly in brewing, with a 40 years history, and the system could be supplied in English, German, Spanish, and Chinese. Important to say, not only on operational level, even on programming level. Looking to a bit deeper into the system, then it stays on the Siemens Sematic PLC line and supports there the most current family S7-400, but more important, S7-1500, which is the main line of factory automation released 8 years ago, and I think will stay with us for the next 30 years plus. On the operator system side, we are compliant, or we stay on the systems which right now on stage means Win10 Enterprise Long-Time Service Contract 2019, respectively WinServer 2019 in the Standard and Data Center Edition. And surely, following the trends of today, you can virtualize the system, the released options here are VMware, ESX, as well as Microsoft Hyper-V. Key functionalities of the systems, and you saw that a little bit, is on the one hand side, the standard process control screen, which, as already said, allows you to intuitively control your process at any time. The core of the system is the graphical recipe and batch control, gives you a process overview at one glance. It's easy to operate and ISA 88 compliant. And please allow me a few seconds to say to that. When you look to the right-hand side, then you see the recipe running. The green steps are the steps which have been already successfully executed. And the purple one is the one where you can see underneath all values, all set points, and you have the possibility to interfere here, to change here the parts, the values, so that the running recipe can be adapted just in time. Route control, the third key feature, is a set an efficient automation systems for organizing material transfers, particularly in silo or tank farms. It is quite easy explained. It works like the navigation system in your car. You have a source, you have a destination, and the system itself look which is the possible way from source to destination. Is the way passable? Are the valves okay? Are the pipes clean? And does the destination have the right material into which so that the one I would like to transport there has fits to it, or is he in the right quality status, means clean, separated, etc. Last but not least, the replay mode. The replay mode is a record functionality for all process data. Means when you realize that there is something, or there has something happened in the past where you would like to understand what has happened in that point in history in my installation, then you can switch from the online to an offline view, starting the so-called replay mode, and you can see the status of your installation at time ago. 2 days, 3 weeks, 4 months, depends only on how long did you store the data. And the good thing is you can go back in time, you can see all process screens you have in your installation, nor question whether they have been on display at this time in reality or not. You can click on any of the vessels and related control window will open as you can do it on the online view to control your operation. But you will see even in this offline historical perspective, the control windows with all the values we have in that time, and then you can let it run like a video on a DVD player. Why did we do this? You can identify mistakes which has happened in the past or any extraordinarities, but you can use it as well for record the golden badge and train your operators on it. Further features and functionalities which are relevant to mention is the system is seamless scalable. You can start fairly small and grow up to absolutely large. The smallest or one of the smallest breweries I know has right now a production of 1,000 hectoliters, is fully automated with BRAUMAT in the brew house and in the fermentation cellar area. And the largest brewery I know has a production of more than 20 million hectoliters, is driven by a BRAUMAT system, which 6 pair of servers and the number of 47 controllers. All servers in BRAUMAT can run in hot standby redundancy as a granted feature. This means when you operate an industrial brewery, it is hard for you or it is mandatory for you, let me call it that way, that the process is run at any time. Then 2 servers make sure that if one server breaks, or much more important nowadays, you need to set up a Microsoft security update. A second server is available, supplying for the controller, the PLC, with the necessary batch information so that the process is running under all circumstances. We have an upgrade function built in BRAUMAT that we could execute modernizations within the systems with very limited efforts and very limited risks in an absolute minimum timeline. And reporting transparency about the processes is more and more important on several stages, coming from your own needs to drive the processes more efficient and more effective, up to the end customer who would like to know more and more where his product have been produced, under what conditions, where does the materials come from, up to the administrations who would like to have even more and more information. BRAUMAT delivers the possibility to report on several stages to fulfill all needs of every level of requested data. We have integrated a weighing and dosing automation to fully automate single and multi-component weighing and dosing processes, like it happens in the malt dosing. User access control is granted via RFID card to fulfill here the requirement for an increased security and administration. About virtualization, we spoke already. The system could be easily virtualized in the granted systems, VMware ESX, as well as Microsoft Hyper-V. And last but not least, we have embedded into the system a standard interface to an SQL database to have a standard interface towards overlaid layers like MES, manufacturing execution systems, and or ERP. The differentiator between a standard supervisory system and the process control system like BRAUMAT is the recipe control engine. What does it do? And take a look to this, a recipe which I have got from the friends from Castle Malting. Then you see here the recipe for an Belgian brown beer for home use. On the left-hand side, the steps are the necessary ingredients. On the right-hand side, the steps which need to be done. And when you take that, you all will know it. And you fulfill that, then you can make your beer at home. The graphical recipe engine of BRAUMAT is nothing else as the description in automation language, while having the right components in place, how to drive such a recipe, which we would do in our kitchen at home by hand, automatically with the process equipment you have in place. The recipe is here a sequence of these step chains in any vessel. And when you look to it and you see here a typical brew house, it starts with the mill, goes via the mash tun, in the lauter tun, the wort cooker, the whirlpool, and the wort cooler, so that we have here an entire brewing line displayed. The benefits of using it are fairly obvious. An automated recipe control can reduce manual work massively so that human resources can be used more effectively, as they can focus on all non-automatable issues and duties. And in the brewery, we have a lot of them. The number of possible mistakes in those cyclically recurring tasks, processes, and routines could be reduced. The machine does not make a mistake. The machine follows the clear given routine. So we can achieve sustainable and repeatable quality on the one side of the product as well as the process. The production process can start without human intervention. This means you can start to mash at Monday morning at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., and nobody is there. The automation can do that completely independent, so that the processes can run fully automatically and needed to be monitored only. And at the end, we spoke about the increased demand of transparency. You get a better and increased one of the processes by an automatic reporting of all relevant data, steps, and values. A short glance to the system itself. We speak about a state-of-the-art server-client architecture. And on the left-hand side, you see a few selected parameters of the systems. I would not stay with that too long, only to say one of those controllers could control up to 1,024 ICMs, individual control modules. What it is? Valves, flaps, motors, pumps. Enough. We could run up to 120, or one controller can operate up to 128 single vessels. And we could have in an installation up to 46 controllers. One server could operate 16. We could have clients, etc., etc. All of this for those who have the possibility to start small and grow up. There are respectively no real limits. Starting point for it could be BRAUMAT Lean. BRAUMAT Lean is the entry gate to a state-of-the-art process control concept, as it is a fully blown version with as few limitations. And the limitations is you can use one PLC only, one server only, and you do not have route control. The benefit of it is you can start fairly small and respectively, what is the interesting point, cost effective, with a license which allows you to control 4 units, 4 vessels. You can always upgrade to a fully blown version, but you can stay in the lean concept and you can go up to 40 units. To give you an idea, A brew house usually takes or has 10 to 12 units. The 5 vessels of the process, as we all know, then a little bit zip, etc., so that with the first 2 points, 4 plus 12 units in an extension pack, a single line brew house could be completely automated so that there is enough room with more units than to bring the fermenters in. And this is what we are typically automate in a craft brewery. And once you can grow up, you always could convert while reusing all engineered, all programmed data up to a fully blown version. And this could look like these. The device you can see on the right-hand side here is a one which contains a server, a PC, which can be used as a batch server, as well as a software PLC who is able to drive the entire lean concept. And with this, you could achieve to a very economic situation the possibility to automate your brewery, because all you need to drive the system is this device, a monitor, a mouse, and a keyboard, and the necessary licenses. And as well, again and again and again, you can grow up seamlessly by reusing the hardware as well as the software seamlessly. Support, we spoke about. We have a standard product. Support is granted via our standard processes. All of you have Siemens components in place. When you had an issue with it, then you call the hotline, standard hotline. All this is relevant for BRAUMAT as well. And if standard hotline could not support you, then they hand over the problem, the issue to our second level support, which is directly connected to this BRAUMAT R&D team, and they would help you forward rather fast. When you have the situation that you say, oh, that would be interesting to me, what do I need for an automation of my installation? Then ask your Siemens contact. We will support you in a way that with the data we exchange, we create on the one hand side a technical concept, a topology like displayed here, as well as a bill of the needed material and components to make the order process of the system simple and easy. I spoke about the training. The training is possible in India as well as in Nuremberg right now to the pandemic situation only as a virtual. It gives you a system overview, explains the features and the functionalities of the system, and teaches the basic engineering so that you have understood afterward the basic principles. You got the necessary know-how about ISA S88, recipe order, batch management. You will then in detail know what the technological objects are, how to control and monitor, etc., etc. Using BRAUMAT, why? What is beneficial to you? You have a standard software product supplied by one of the key automation players in that market. After 4 decades, we have a market-proven, mature, and efficient systems. We know what to do. And the standard product lifecycle management, I told that already, ensures the long-time availability as well as investment protection. We have a global network of local support, service, and engineering capabilities from Siemens as well, from my colleagues who are with me here on the call, as well as numerous partners which we bring in the partner program. You will have low operational costs due to the intuitive and easy to learn operator interface, and You does not depend on us as a specific solution provider. Everyone is invited to go to the training. Even you, your maintenance staff, you may send them to us. We help him to understand the system in a level that you have the complete control on it. Technology and lifecycle, I mentioned that already, is based on Simatic S7, the world leading PLC family. Undiscussed. We call it the heart of automation, and it is standard. Last but not least, and I would like to mention that BRAUMAT is as well one of the basic pillars for a successful digitalization approach in your brewery. And how can that look like? We are on the way right now to embed the system in an industrial reference architecture for smart production. When you look to the right-hand side, then the red arrow describes the situation we found more and more in every industrial brewery, in every industrial F&B environment. The connection from the process level, from the field level, where the controller stays, via the batch management, the MES level up to ERP. But we in Siemens think that much further. We see this as part of a landscape, of a portfolio landscape used as a map for a digitalization journey. And by choosing the right starting point, this may be the starting point for a common digitalization journey from you as our customer together with us as your consultant, advisor, as your guide through this world, where we connect the automation layer with things like cloud, with industrial edge, but even with touchable things like on-premise SCADA systems, warehouse logistics, fleet management, building automation, and so on. We have chosen surely a craft brewery here in Germany, located in the very center, Stubb's Brewery in Steinach. He has realized a three-vessel brewhouse concept, started in 2020 with a 3-liter brewhouse and 12 CCTs. And even due to the pandemic, he was able to be so successful that he added in 2021 a second 10 hectoliter line with 3 further CCTs. He is producing right now 1,000 hectoliters per annum. The plan for this year, he told me, is 1,500 hectoliters, and it is surely operated by a BRAUMAT V8 system based on an S7 1518. You see in the headline, the URL, go to the site. Unfortunately, it's only in German, but that's what you like to see. Pictures from the production, as pictures from the beer, will be granted to you. And Mr. Stubb is definitely willing to talk to you in case you have any questions. He is fluently in English. No discussion.
case they are going for a BRAUMAT and there are any ancillary equipments which they are trying to buy, we can always work with them. We can always work with their OEMs and check for Siemens technology and financing options together.
Our approach for the breweries, and when I say breweries, it is both at micro, craft, and the large breweries, would be with our coverage of electrical automation and digitalization with our state of art products and solution. So what does it mean? It means, for example, for a large brewery, it would start from a medium voltage, and a small brewery, a craft brewery, it will start from a low voltage MCC to instrumentation, motors, drives, and the heart of the automation and controls, which we saw the BRAUMAT, and leading to digitalization and sustainability. Now, this is as regards to our offerings for the breweries. And the question regarding the support of BRAUMAT, we have a service team to support from the service point of view, locally in India, as well as, like we said, the online supports are there. We have a team to support this from the consulting or pre-sales angle, as well as from an install base and service angle. Not limited to that, we have trained of partners who are trained on these solutions with BRAUMAT, and both to deliver and to support. And further on, of course, we have a solutions team to cater to this requirements. And when I say the requirements is micro, craft, and large breweries for all the projects as well as the service requirements. A big thanks to all the attendees and customers. A special thanks to Brewer World for organizing this session. And with that, I say thanks a lot. For any queries on BRAUMAT, on solutions connected to digitalization, microbrewery, craft brewery, and brewing, and definitely financing, please reach out to us, and we will come back and have the way forward in discussion with you. Special thanks to all, and signing off from my side then. Thanks.